Have you ever noticed that the more you chase a woman, the faster she seems to run from you? And the moment you stop caring so much, suddenly the messages, the looks, the attention start coming your way? It feels almost unfair, almost like there is a hidden rule book that no one gave you, while some men seem to live inside that rule book effortlessly. Right now, you might be thinking about a woman who barely responds, who answers when she wants, who keeps you guessing, and at the same time you see other men who barely try and still get women fully invested, texting first, trying to impress them, chasing their attention. There is a reason for that, and it is not just looks, money, or status. At the core, there is a mind game. A psychological dynamic that flips the roles. Instead of you begging for her attention, she starts feeling compelled to win yours. That is what you are going to unlock today. The first thing you must understand is this: attraction is not a polite, logical negotiation. It is a reaction to how you position yourself mentally and emotionally. Women do not sit there with a checklist saying, "He did 3 nice things, so now I will like him." What pulls them in is the emotional impact your presence creates. This is why you will often see a man who is not the most handsome, not the tallest, not the richest, still surrounded by feminine attention, while another man who objectively has more gets ignored. What separates them is not what they have, but how they think about themselves, how they behave under pressure, and how they make a woman feel without even trying. The mind game that makes women beg for you is not about manipulation or lying. It is about mastering the way you show up, so that her own psychology does most of the work for you. Most men get this completely backwards. They believe the game is outside, the right line, the perfect message, the correct tactic. So they overthink every word, they overanalyze every emoji, they replay every interaction 100 times in their head. Meanwhile, they ignore the only part that really matters: their inner frame. Your frame is the story you live inside, who you believe you are, what you tolerate, what you expect, and what you will walk away from. Women do not just respond to your words, they respond to the frame behind your words. If your frame is, "I hope she likes me, I hope I do not mess this up, she is above me," you can say the smoothest sentence in the world and still feel like a fan trying to impress a celebrity. If your frame is, "I know my value, I am checking whether we actually fit, I am the one choosing," you can be simple and direct, and it still feels attractive, grounded, and masculine. So let's define the mind game very clearly. The mind game that makes women beg for you is the inner decision to be the prize and to act consistently with that decision. Not just say it, not pretend, not repeat affirmations without changing your behavior. It is an internal contract that you sign with yourself. From now on, I do not chase validation. I do not audition for anyone. I bring value. I lead with calm strength, and I choose who gets access to me. When that contract is real, it leaks into your body language, your tone, your timing, your boundaries, and your responses. This is what women feel. They feel the man who does not crumble when he likes someone. They feel the man who can desire without becoming desperate. They feel the man who can walk away calmly instead of clinging when he feels attraction. That kind of man unconsciously flips a switch in their mind. This one is different. I have to earn him. On a psychological level, this connects with principles you have probably heard about: scarcity, self-respect, and emotional independence. Human beings value what is not easily available. When you are always ready to drop everything for her, when you reply instantly no matter what you are doing, when you cancel your plans to adjust to hers, you are training her nervous system to see you as abundant, easy, predictable, and safe in the worst way. Safe as an option, not as a man she must secure. On the other hand, when you are grounded in your life, in your mission, in your standards, and you do not break that for anyone, you become scarce in the right way. Not needy, not cold, but selective. She senses that you are not fighting for a spot in her world. You are calmly guarding access to yours. This creates curiosity, tension, and respect, which is exactly the emotional environment in which women begin to invest more, chase more, and yes, in their own way, beg for your time, your attention, your presence. The first pillar of this mind game is detachment from outcome. That does not mean you stop caring about women or that you fake indifference. It means you stop tying your self-worth to any specific woman's reaction. Right now, ask yourself honestly: when she pulls away, when she takes long to reply, when she seems distant, do you instantly feel less valuable? Do you feel that something is wrong with you? Do you start trying harder, sending more messages, explaining yourself, asking what is happening? That reaction is exactly what kills attraction. Deep down, what really scares many women is the idea of ending up with a man whose emotional state is completely dependent on their approval. They might enjoy the attention in the short term, but they do not respect it. A man who is outcome independent, on the other hand, can like a woman deeply and still remain calm, self-contained, and purposeful, even if things do not go exactly as he wanted. Detachment from outcome is a mental practice. Before you call her, before you go on a date, before you send a message, your inner script should not be, "I hope this works, I need this to go well." Your inner script should be, "I am curious to see whether we connect, and either way, I am good." That small shift changes everything. Your voice relaxes, your humor becomes more natural, your silence becomes comfortable instead of awkward. Your eyes are not scanning her face for approval every second, and ironically, that is when she starts feeling more drawn to you. Women feel the difference between a man who is performing to win something and a man who is simply expressing himself and observing whether they match. One triggers pressure, the other triggers intrigue. The second pillar is to stop playing the role of the applicant and start living as the selector. Most men unconsciously act as if they are in a job interview where the woman is the boss and they are praying to be hired. They try to impress her with achievements, with compliments, with promises. They talk too much. They over-explain. They agree with everything she says. They hide their standards because they believe any sign of selectiveness will scare her away. What they do not realize is that by doing this, they are telling her, "You are the prize and I am just hoping to be good enough." The mind game flips this dynamic. You still show appreciation, you still show interest, but underneath there is a different message. "I know you are attractive, but I am not here to worship you. I am here to see who you really are and whether that fits in my life." Being the selector means you actually have standards and you actually enforce them. That goes far beyond saying, "I want a loyal, feminine, kind woman." It means that when you see signs of disrespect, you do not tolerate them just because she is beautiful. It means that when she tests you with attitude, you do not become angry or defensive, but you also do not reward the behavior. You simply step back, slow down, or disengage. It means you ask real questions about her values, her habits, her lifestyle, not from a place of interrogation, but from curiosity about whether she is truly someone you want to invest in. When you do that consistently, women feel something rare, a man who is not blinded by their looks, a man whose standards are real. That feeling alone makes them step up, behave better, and invest more because they know they can lose you. The third pillar is controlled availability and emotional pacing. Availability is not just about time, it is about how easily someone can access your attention and your emotional energy. Most men give both away for free. They are present even when they are not respected. They answer instantly even when they were ignored. They initiate again and again even when the energy is one-sided. Every time you do that, you teach her that she can have your attention without having to earn it. If you want the power dynamic to shift, you must bring your availability back under your control. That means your life does not pause because she sent a message. You respond when it actually fits into your day, not when anxiety demands it. You do not double text her when she goes silent. You let the silence speak for itself. You do not chase explanations when she withdraws. You focus on your mission and allow her to feel your absence. Emotional pacing is equally important. Many men flood a woman with intensity too fast. They reveal everything about themselves in the first conversations. They talk for hours every day. They text from morning until midnight. At first, this can feel exciting for both. But psychologically, it burns out the tension too quickly. The human nervous system responds more strongly to progressive escalation than to instant saturation. When you pace things, when you leave some space between interactions, when you let her wonder what you are doing, when you keep a little mystery, you give her mind the chance to think about you voluntarily. That is where obsession begins, in the space where she wonders, imagines, and fills in the blanks with her own fantasies. You do not create that space by disappearing as a punishment. You create it by living a rich life that does not revolve around her, and by choosing deliberately when and how you engage. The fourth pillar is controlled tension, the dynamic of challenge and playfulness. Attraction lives in tension, not in comfort alone. When everything is too easy, too agreeable, too predictable, desire fades. Many men think that to be liked, they must eliminate all tension. They avoid disagreeing, they avoid teasing, they avoid flirting with any edge. They act almost like a polite assistant, always accommodating. This might feel safe, but it kills polarity. The masculine role is not to be hostile, but to carry a strong, playful, grounded energy that can handle tension without collapsing. That means you can disagree with her calmly. You can tease her lightly when she is being dramatic. You can challenge her when she tests your boundaries. Not with anger, not with coldness, but with a relaxed, amused presence. Here is where you apply the mind game practically. When a woman is attracted, she will often test your frame. She might be unpredictable with her responses. She might be demanding. She might say something provocative. Most men react emotionally. They become angry, needy, or defensive. The man who understands the mind game sees these moments as opportunities to deepen attraction. When she is cold, he does not chase. He mirrors the energy and lets her feel the absence of his warmth. When she is dramatic, he does not get pulled into chaos. He remains calm and may even playfully call it out. When she tries to guilt-trip him for living his life, he does not apologize for having a mission. He simply states his priorities clearly. This sends a powerful signal to her subconscious. This man cannot be emotionally controlled. He is stable. Stability combined with challenge is addictive. All of this, however, must be built on true self-respect, not on fake games. If you pretend to be busy while you are actually sitting there obsessively checking your phone, you are not living the mind game. You are acting it. Women feel that difference over time. The foundation has to be real, a life that you are genuinely devoted to, goals that are not just slogans. Physical, mental, and emotional discipline. That is where the influence of Stoic philosophy enters the picture. Stoicism teaches you to focus your energy on what you can control, your actions, your thoughts, your responses. You cannot control who texts you back, who chooses you, who stays, or who leaves. You can control how you show up every day, which standards you enforce, and whether you betray yourself just to hold on to someone. When you stop betraying yourself, your entire energy changes. Think about how you would behave if you truly believed you were the prize. Not with arrogance, not with entitlement, but with quiet certainty. You would not beg for attention. You would not tolerate disrespect. You would not explain yourself 100 times when someone clearly does not value what you offer. You would not blow up someone's phone after being ignored. You would not cancel your plans repeatedly to fit around another person's mood swings. You would offer your presence fully when you are there, and then you would let go when the energy is not reciprocated. You would stay kind, but you would not stay available to someone who treats you as a backup plan. That is prize energy. That is the core of the mind game. Your inner belief in your own value expressed in your behavior. Let's bring this down to concrete behavior. When you start talking to a woman you find attractive, you keep your focus on curiosity, not on impressing. Instead of thinking about the perfect thing to say next, you pay attention to how you feel around her and how she behaves around you. You ask questions that reveal character, not just surface details. You share parts of your life that show your direction and your standards. You do not overshare your emotional history in an attempt to fast-forward intimacy. You do not rush to compliment every aspect of her appearance. You might acknowledge that she looks great, but you also show interest in how she thinks, what she does, what she cares about. When she notices that you are not laser-focused only on her looks, her respect rises. In your messaging behavior, you avoid two extremes: obsessive pursuit and cold indifference. You initiate when it makes sense. You send clear, concise messages. You do not start endless small talk just to keep the connection alive. You propose plans instead of circling around for days. If she engages, you match that energy with warmth and presence. If she is inconsistent, you do not punish her, but you also do not reward the inconsistency with more effort. You reduce your investment. You mirror reality instead of chasing fantasy. Over time, this creates a psychological contrast in her experience. Other men push harder when she pulls away, but you pull back and stay grounded. That contrast is exactly what triggers many women to reconsider, to invest, to chase. On dates, your body language reflects the mind game. You sit with open posture, shoulders relaxed, eye contact steady, but not aggressive. You do not fidget trying to fill every silence. You allow pauses, as if you are completely comfortable with space. You speak clearly and slowly enough to be heard. You are not afraid to steer the conversation. You can change topics, challenge opinions, share your views without apologizing for them. At the same time, you listen deeply when she speaks. You pay attention to her emotions, not just her words. You notice when she is engaged and when she drifts. You do not try to entertain her constantly like a performer. You invite her into your world as an equal participant. When a woman feels both led and heard by a man, attraction grows effortlessly. Now, let's address tests and mixed signals directly. When a woman is drawn to you, she will often calibrate your strength. She might cancel a plan last minute, show up late, or respond with a cold tone just to see how you react. This is not always conscious. Often, it is an instinctive way to measure your stability. Most men either explode or submit. They either get angry, send long emotional messages, or they accept everything silently and then complain later. The mind game gives you a third response: calm consequence. If she cancels last minute repeatedly, you do not insult her, but you do not keep investing. The next time, you are less available. You stop offering plans until she shows a clear change. If she disrespects your time by being always late, you address it once firmly and then adjust your behavior. You no longer treat her as a priority. In communication, when she plays hot and cold, you do not match the drama. You maintain a stable baseline. When she is warm, you enjoy it fully. When she is cold, you do not chase that warmth. You let the dynamic breathe. You do not ask, "Why are you acting like this?" 10 times. You observe. If the coldness becomes the new normal, you withdraw. If it is just a moment of mood, you remain calm, and she will often come back to warmth on her own. The key is that you never allow her emotional storms to dictate your identity. You remain who you are regardless of her current mood. That is masculine grounding, and it is extremely attractive. There is also a darker side to this mind game that you must handle with integrity. When you truly embody these principles, self-respect, selection, controlled availability, calm strength, some women will become intensely attached to you. They will chase you hard, they will seek your attention constantly, they will want more and more of your presence. In those moments, you must remember that this is not a toy. You are dealing with real emotions. The goal is not to make someone suffer in order to feel powerful. The goal is to build polarizing, healthy, deeply attractive connections where both of you benefit. Use this power to create better relationships, not to collect admirers or to destroy someone's self-esteem for fun. So how do you internalize all of this instead of just understanding it intellectually? You start with identity. You decide very clearly what kind of man you are going to be from this point forward. Not what kind of man women want, what kind of man you respect. Picture him, his discipline, his standards, his routines, his way of speaking, his way of reacting when things go wrong. Then, you align your daily actions with that image. You work on your body, not for external validation, but because strength and health increase your self-respect. You work on your finances and your mission, not to flex, but to feel secure, independent, and purposeful. You manage your emotions, not to seem cold, but to prevent your feelings from making you betray your principles. Once your identity starts to solidify, your behavior with women automatically begins to change. You no longer feel the need to convince anyone to like you. When a woman pulls away, you feel the sting, but you do not collapse. You acknowledge the pain, then you return to your path. When a woman is interested, you enjoy it without losing yourself. You do not pretend to be unavailable. You simply do not sacrifice your entire life for a single person. This inner stability is the true cheat code most men are searching for. It is not a pickup line. It is the man you become. From there, the mind game becomes simple. You enter interactions with curiosity and standards. You put your energy into people who reciprocate. You remove your energy from those who consistently do not. You refuse to beg for attention from anyone. You are kind but not a pushover, confident but not arrogant, selective but not bitter. And because this combination is rare, women feel it deeply. They start thinking about you when you are not around. They text you first. They suggest plans. They try harder to impress you because they know you will not settle for less than what truly matches your value. That is what it means, in a healthy and powerful way, to have women begging for you, not on their knees in desperation, but actively choosing you, prioritizing you, and putting effort into keeping you in their life. Now it is on you. You can continue playing the old game, overthinking, overtexting, overinvesting, or you can step into this mind game where your focus shifts from chasing reactions to building a reality that naturally attracts. Do not just listen passively to these words and then go back to the same patterns. Decide today that you will change the way you think about yourself and the way you act with women. Decide that you will no longer beg for attention from anyone. Decide that you will be the prize and back it up with your daily choices. When you do that, the entire dynamic of your love life will begin to shift, and you will experience what it really feels like when women invest in you, chase you, and yes, in their own way, beg for the privilege of being part of your world.